This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed and award-winning author, the one and only UNTAMED. Hello, UNTAMED. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing, Will?
UNTAMED, I'm doing so much better now that I'm speaking with you. And we were speaking a little bit off camera about this whole notion
Yeah,
of you coming on board FENIX. And I was telling you, I've spoken with about a dozen authors from all over the world. And what I love so much about your writing and what you put out into the world, these are relatable, digestible characters and situations that not only I think people can relate to, but escape with. And
yeah,
especially at time, I want you to talk about first and foremost, I want to lean into that little girl who picked up the book Coming of Age. And what was it about that Laurie Hewitt novel that sparked young Untamed to into her bliss?
oh my gosh. Look, she was, I believe, Lori, if I'm remembering correctly, was 19 in Spelman at the time when she wrote this book. And so it was like YA, but it was so realistic because it was something so different at that time. And now, mind you, I was back in middle school during that time. So that's been many, many moons ago. And during that time, you had, of course, your Sweet Valley High, your Babysitter's Club, but Coming of Age was a tale set specifically for high school kids. But these high school kids were going through real life issues, real life home issues. And ironically dealing with a lot of what teens and college kids are dealing with today that's kind of mass exploded because it's on social media, it's able to be videotaped. So these kids in this book were dealing with racism, they were dealing with peer pressure. The jock had the peer pressure of not wanting to be with the smart girl. He needed to be with the really pretty girls who, just that's all that they seemed they were about. And they each had home issues like with abandonment or pressures from their parents to be, this exceptional student, and not being able to just be a kid. It was so much encompassed in that book. And that sparked me because at that time, I'm in magnet school. I'm expected to have great grades. It was something that spoke to me. And that sparked the writer in me because from that moment forward, I knew that whatever I wrote about, I wanted it to be character centered and I wanted it to be relatable so that anybody who reads it, they could feel like I'm not going through this alone, or they could laugh with it, or they could cry with it if they needed to.
Well, I mean, it not only sparked your amazing talent and for you to go after it, you there soon after were winning awards left and right for your writing. And obviously, it was a longer journey and an amazing journey that we only have a little time to speak about. But I do want to I want to do a hard cut to how did the idea of your debut novel, Never Again, No More, come about? Because obviously I mean, it has been included in so many ads, being talked about on so many shows, doing so well in terms of flying off the shelves and online on Amazon in all the links below. People can find out more about you, Untamed. But I want to know what was the spark with getting that story out for you?
The spark with that is simple enough. I was a teen mom and it's based off teen mothers. And so I input it's character centered on around four women. And I put a little bit of myself into each woman. The rest of it is fictional, like majority of what they're going through is fictional. But I put a little bit of my personal story in each one of those characters. And I think that made each one relatable to different people in different ways. And that sparked it in that. And just like with Lori, I incorporated some of the same things, some of the same societal issues, some of the same home, well, not the same home issues, but just home issues. I wanted it to be a full encompassed story. It's not just about, the fact that these friends, they were teen moms, but it was how they got on this journey. And what are they going to do to overcome it and become the women they want, have the careers they want, raise their children the way they want to, separate and apart from how they were raised, you know? So it is, and I think that is really, you know, because it's so personal to me, I think that's something, you know, that really resonates with the readers.
Well, I love the fact that you looked back to look forward, that you were looking back at that pivotal moment for you with Lori's novel, in that, you know, imitation is the best form of flattery. So that obviously you took aspects that moved you as a kid, but also putting yourself in that reader's
Yes.
seat, because you are, in addition to being an acclaimed author, you are a voracious reader, and you know
Yes.
what the people like you want to read. And at the same time, I want to just affirm for you, Untamed, how beautiful it is that you are so vulnerable to not just write about the surface of things, but for
Yes.
you to dig into some dark, traumatic times in your life and
Yes.
to parlay it through your characters, almost like your Geppetto with all of these
Yes.
marionettes, and that you get to also in the process, dare I say, heal. Was it a healing process for you in not only this, but there was a sequel as well, correct?
Yes, it is a sequel. So there are actually 6 books, and book 5 is not coming out until December, but it's definitely was a healing process for me. I always say I love the entire series. Book 2 will always be my favorite. That's the one that I was the most vulnerable in. And that has the most of my personal story in it with, you know, with certain instances. So yes, definitely, you know, I did dig into a very dark place in book 2, and it was a form of healing. And I wrote it because I knew that writing is therapy, you know. Writing for me is just as much therapy as reading. And I know in order to get over certain things, writing was always, you know, my focal point. So I figured, let me write about, you know, this so that I can heal. And in my healing, I know that I'm going to help heal somebody else.
Amen. I mean, look at it. And I love when I'm speaking with you. It's the same thing I hear when I speak with painters, when I speak with art, when I speak with musicians, when I speak with singer-songwriters, when I speak with sculptors. When you have an artist in their flow, pursuing their bliss, they are very cognizant, the good ones like yourself, they are very cognizant of the therapy that it is not only providing them, but others. And in a place and a time that we are in now, people still dealing with this trauma, I feel like your writing now more than ever in Untamed is needed. Do you feel that? And are you getting messages now more than ever from even like the first books, people reading now and being like, Untamed, this could have been written today, and I'm
Yes.
healing now from it now.
Yes, I've had so many, you know, people who have written me who they're like, especially with the pandemic, it you know, it triggers some of the dark places in people. You know, I've had people write me saying, thank you so much. I'm learning how to deal with a child or even a parent who, you know, actually ended up turning to drugs because they, you know, lost a job, or, you know, I'm learning how to parent or co-parent with, you know, my child's mother, my child's father. It was just, it's so many messages. And I think the one message that really just touched me was like, I had someone actually message me, and she gave me permission to say it, but I won't say her name. She just said, I read your book and I was on my wits end and I really was about to give up. And I read your book and it just sparked new life in me. And that touched me to my core. And I told her, I said, you know, if I never got another review or another sale, that made my entire writing career right there.
That message just made my day. I'm tearing up over here, Untamed.
Yeah.
I I think that is so beautiful. And I think that in a world where people need connection now more than ever, not only obviously are you continuing to do so with your writing, by the way, not only a universal language through the themes and the messages, but you are writing timeless and timely stories, my friend. And I just wanted to affirm that for you. And listen, I could speak with you forever. I want to let the audience know for more on the incredible and wonderful Untamed. You can read more about her right below this video. Untamed, I'm so grateful for your time today. I'm so happy you're joining this platform where I know people all over the world now, more than ever, are going to be deep diving into your beautiful writing. Again, not only to be entertained, but dare I say also inspired.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that is my absolute hope that someone, else is inspired, encouraged, and if this writing journey is for them, perhaps motivated, to jump into it and tell their story.
God bless you, Untamed. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
You too.